head coach earlier this month after serving as pitching coach for 4 seasons. Previously coached at FIU and at Alabama. And Alabama theme is prevalent here today. That's his alma mater, and he starred, if you might recall, as I do very well, for the Crimson Tide, the College World Series team in 1996. Played 11 seasons in the minor leagues, and you might remember that too because he played here for your New Orleans Zephyrs. Remember them? The Zephyrs, right? Not that other stupid name. UNO opens at West Georgia on Friday, February 14th. Please welcome Coach Dax Norris. And he is a Nevada graduate. He's 3rd year now. It seems like yesterday, but his 3rd year at Tulane. Served as an assistant head coach, recruiting coordinator, and interim head coach previously. He's guided Tulane to the American Athletic Conference Tournament Championships and the NCAA Tournament in both seasons. Previously at Oregon, Kansas, LA Harvard Junior College, Nevada, all Big West Conference performer. 7 years now as a coach at Tulane, and the Green Wave open February 14th at home against Omaha, where he'd like to be like in June, right? Please give a warm welcome to Jay Uhlman. Well, Dax, welcome. I mean, you're not new. You've been at UNO now for, I don't know, 5 years, but this opportunity came up last month. First of all, how much of a surprise was it? And secondly, how did you feel when you found out about it?
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. I told Blake just a little bit. He talked about maybe taking another opportunity and didn't think he would do it. And two days later, he said, "You got your staff intact?" And so I said, "Well, we better get going." So it's an honor to take over. It's also, I was telling Kim, it was bittersweet. And I think, the job Blake Dean did at the University of New Orleans for, I know 11 years, 9 as a head coach, was remarkable. And he's like family to me. So, it was better coaching with him than going against him. But it was definitely, definitely something that kind of hit, pretty quick. But smooth transition, and very honored, and it's a privilege to take over a storied program.
I've always believed that you have to have experienced some failure and had to start somewhere to get to where you want to get. In college, you reached the top of the mountain in Alabama, got to the College World Series, and then, of course, you fought and fought, and you spent 11 years in minor league baseball. I mean, you wanted to be what Xavier was, and Johnny was, and others have been, and that's a hard road. And now, of course, at UNO, the challenges that are clearly there with just taking over and financial and everything else. Just talk about the journey and going through the highs and the lows and how well that's gotten you to this point in time.
Yeah, like Xavier said, my first and foremost is God. Put God first, and even the first year as a pro ball, you sitting there and you hoping somebody gets hurt so you can get to AAA or get to the big leagues, and then that never happens. And same way coaching. I was fortunate to start my coaching career with Jim Wells, who is a legend in the Hall of Fame, and being with Mitch Gaspard and Bobby at Alabama. So I've been around. I've been fortunate to be with good guys, and so when I got here, going on about 18 years of coaching, I just Blake brought me in to do the pitching. He goes, "That's the only thing I need you to do." So I was focused on the pitching of getting that right, and never really thought about being a head coach. And then all of a sudden, it hits you just like that. So I tell my players all the time, God has a plan for you. I went from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Miami, Florida, and never questioned it, and then back to New Orleans. So it's been a journey, but also it's been a journey of going against these guys and seeing these guys, and it's a journey that, like I said, you look back on it and you're thankful for, but you just got to persevere.
I was blessed to work at UNO for years and got the field named after Ron Maestri and started that initiative, and it's one of the things I don't use the word pride, but I'm happiest about, because that legacy lives on. What's he meant to your program? He continues to help even at this time.
Oh yeah, no, he was sad he couldn't be here today, but he has been awesome. The whole organization at UNO has been awesome, and but having him now, and Blake assured me too that he will be sitting with Coach Maestri to breaking down my moves and all that. So having those guys, like I say, tradition of the program, the alumni, and all that, you have to lean on those. and that's what we plan to do. And obviously anything that they will tell us that will help, we're going to listen to, because the alumni and like I say, Coach Maestri and Blake and all those guys are very important.
Last thing, position players, you got plenty of good players on that team, I know, and see them coming back. But you coach pitching, and if you want to win in that league or any league, you've got to have pitching. Just talk about what you like about your pitching.
Yeah, I like the pitching a lot. We have more depth on the pitching side this year. We have guys, more guys, left-handers. I don't think we had 2 left-handers last year. So this year we got more guys that we can go to in the bullpen. I know we talked about Alvarez earlier, maybe get a left-hander out, like a guy like that. So starters are solid. Very pleased where it's at right now, and obviously the offense of what Blake has done in years past with the offense. The main thing is just stay out of their way and not mess them up. But looking forward to all around. I think we have more depth than the 4 years I've been here, and got a chance to win a lot of games.
Privateers in the Southland, Privateers Pelican Cup with Tulane. Look forward to the upcoming season. Dax Norris, the new head coach of the University of Tulane Privateers. Dax, thank you. Jay Uhlman of Tulane University. Well, I guess we had this conversation 20, 30 games in, everybody wanted to get rid of you right away, and we laughed about it, and I talked to a lot of people and said, just wait, okay? They overscheduled, it's brutal, things are gonna work out okay. You fooled everybody, win the tournament, come back off of that last year with a winning team and win the tournament again. Just talk about, as I talked about with Dax, the process of going through the lows and the highs, because you've gotten this program back to a very good level.
I appreciate that, and I want to first off start by thanking everybody for being here. It's always great to come here and see the support for college baseball, and then congratulations to everybody on your successes in the previous years, and good luck to you all this year too. Except when we're playing each other, I hope you guys do well. So, Dax, they have this thing called the Pelican Cup. Don't show that day for me, please. I'd like to keep that. So, but no, thank you again for doing this. This is awesome. When you take over a storied program, 2 trips to Omaha, 23 regional appearances, and 17 league championships, a lot of people have a lot of pride for all the right reasons about your program. And so when you let the West Coast Heathens in the hen house, they've got to earn their stripes, so to speak, as everyone has so clearly demonstrated their allegiances and connections to the city and the state, and rightfully so. So those things were all on the backs of a lot of people that had to do a lot of hard work, and people have their opinions, and it's okay. That's what's beautiful about baseball. But I think things that I've gone through in my life, my baseball life, have prepared me particularly, in my opinion, for how absolutely awful our first year went. Waited 26 years to get a head coaching job at the Division I level, and certainly didn't go anywhere near the way I wanted it to. But we just kept finding a way to hang in there, and we had air in our lungs, and we just kept fighting, and we never let the guys quit. And ultimately, it ended up where we got hot at the right time, and they believed in the messages, and they knew we weren't quitting on them and blaming them. And I think that's really important. When you're not playing well, it's not the blame game, it's not the finger, it's solution-based. It's loving them, it's developing them, and it is tough love too at times too. You can't just not hold them accountable, those kind of things. But we were just trying to set the foundation of what we wanted within the program, so that we could work to get it back into a place where people like Dave Melius and others, Coach Sherman, have seen this program reach the heights of getting to Omaha. So we want that too. We want to make people proud that are associated with Tulane, and that's what we do every day we come to work.
First year you hoped to win, second year you thought you would win, now you believe you're going to win, don't you?
Yeah, and I think, I don't remember who said it, I apologize, but when you start getting into those environments, they know kind of the mission and how it goes and how to handle those things. And as awful as we were to be able to have that experience at LSU, against a great club, Coach Johnson's club, and Paul Skeens, and having that opportunity to play in that environment for a young group, which we were, was really impactful for them. And then when that group was a bunch of juniors and we can kind of reload in the portal and give them support, that played into kind of our feelings going into, of all places, Corvallis, Oregon, with Nichols on the same flight across the country. And so we were just in a better place having that experience. So finally got to win a game in a postseason for the first time since 2016. And, we were 4 arms and 4 bats short. I felt like really feeling like we could actually win it. I feel like our coaches went out and secured the right amount of talent. So I think we're in a much better place. But like Bobby said, you got to go out there and do it, and we feel like we're in a position where if we earn the opportunity to get back there, we've got a better chance this year than we've had in the past.
You spoke about it last year, but you talked about bigger is better, getting bigger,
Yep.
to be able to compete with the best in the SEC, ACC. Just talk about that process.
Yeah, we were, I think, my first year, 198 across the board, average weight. We really dedicated ourselves and made it a point to get in the weight room, and we trickled that up to finishing product last year. I think we're at an average of 208, and we're now sitting at 211 average. So we've gotten bigger, particularly on the mound, and obviously the benefits of standing on an elevated surface with a guy that's 6'8" and has vert or sink. Those things create problems for offenses. So certainly got to throw it over the white thing more frequently, but the game is trending and has been trending to a more physical game, and if you're not built to last, you're going to wither in May and June when it really matters. So trying to keep the continuity of the weight room is really important for us.
Have you taken out property in Clearwater yet?
We're happy to play in Clearwater all the time, so I'll try to keep that humble. But we've been fortunate to get out of there 2 years in a row, so proud of that.
Last but not least, just right now, the reception that you've had, one of the things that's notable is the former players at Tulane, and even a former coach like Greg Jones. They admire you immensely because they feel like you've really included them and made them part of the process.
I appreciate that. We actually have 2 of them came here today, Grant Matthews and Grant Seeger, both now work for the Saints, and Miss Benson and Greg Benzel over there. So the lifeblood of our program, of any program, in my opinion, is the people that came before you. You have to know where you came from because they're the ones that build what you have. And even if you don't have a bunch, they still went through those things. And I came from an environment that honored alumni. We would stop practice and we would run and do dive backs, and I do think alumni used to show up just to watch us run because they knew they would stop practice. But that was ingrained in me in an early part, and so I carry that with me today, and it's very authentic. That's a real thing for me.
A 1, a 2, a hell of a hullabaloo, right? Coach Jay Uhlman, Tulane graduate.